Hello, this is Thomas Sheltra for Module 37, Unit 2, Activity 1, Safeguarding the School Site. And today we're going to be focusing on different interviews with stakeholders at Basis International and Bilingual School Wuhan, and how we go about safeguarding our school for students, staff, faculty, and the school community at large. We're going to be interviewing the head of upper school. We're going to interview the operations manager, and we're also going to have an interview with the assistant manager for logistics. One caveat is going to be the fact that the assistant manager of logistics did not want to be videotaped, but she was more than willing to do the interview and give her answers, and so you will see that at the end of the video.
I think our most important safeguarding practices on a day-to-day basis are actually the digital safeguarding that we put in place. So one of the policies that we have is we have a complete ban on the use of social media or communication devices or communication means, except for our approved things like email or Teams that are monitored by the school. And this is obviously nearly impossible to enforce when students have their own devices, especially in high school. However, by having these rules, what we can do is we can stop it immediately if we see a student that is using WeChat to communicate outside or on a social media site. And this may not seem that much like a safeguarding issue, but actually the digital safeguarding is so important now. And we see a lot of our students, almost all of the student issues that we have that become major, have their basis in some kind of online platform. And if the online platform is not the creator where it starts, they're the thing that magnifies it. So this fact that we are pretty strict with device control and what they can do when they are using devices, I think is our biggest day-to-day safeguarding practice in the school that protects our students. So one of the areas that we really need to do better about is during lunchtime and during recess, which is really our extended lunchtime. And one of our big problems is that we have a massive campus, but we are a growing school. So we don't have that many students, which means we don't have that many teachers. And that means we don't really have enough faculty to be monitoring every part of the school at all times. And it's incredibly easy for a student to walk out of the cafeteria towards the field, and instead of going outside and playing soccer, they just go up the stairs, and there are dozens of empty classrooms for them to sequester themselves. And we make rounds, I make rounds, the dean make rounds, teachers try to notice. But the truth is, if a kid wants to hide, it's very easy. We have CCTV, but those aren't being monitored all the time. And there are legitimate reasons why students might be in some classrooms without a teacher, like if they are filming something for a show, or if they're just waiting for the teacher. And our security guards can't really identify when the student is supposed to be there or not. So we recognize this as a major safeguarding issue, that students can kind of disappear on the campus when they're in that unallotted, we're not taking attendance at lunch. So as we grow, the problem will solve itself because all of our classrooms will be used, teachers will be there. But in the short term, we're getting better. We're putting teachers in more places like stairwells to watch it better, but this is still an issue, and it's still something we haven't found a great solution for. So in terms of responding to safeguarding issues immediately or when they're happening, I am usually not contacted very early in the process. We have a very robust operations team, and they work very closely with themselves, our security guards, our student service, they're all right there at the gate. So if we have a parent come in that's very upset, they would stop them. They would make sure that it didn't become an issue of that parent getting anywhere near students. If the parent was really upset, then I would go down and kind of calm them down. But it wouldn't really be a safeguarding in so much as a crisis management. So I'm not really helping with the safeguarding there. On the other hand, if we have things like if a student is missing, then very quickly we have an emergency group where we are alerted, and I'll be out patrolling the halls looking for them, but I'll also be alerting staff and faculty and trying to figure out where they may be. If a student is missing and we can't find them for more than 5 minutes, our protocol is that then either myself or a dean will go to the CCTV room and we'll start just pouring through, looking at all the camera feeds to try to identify the student. Because that's something, again, that our security guards won't know who that student is. So we get there very quickly. So my role usually is just to figure out what happened later and then lead an investigation into what happened if it resulted in a serious concern. But if there is an emergency, I'll be hands-on with it, but also I'm going pretty quickly to a central location where I can try to figure out what's going on in real time to coordinate with my teachers and my staff to handle it more efficiently.
There you go.
Our first line of defense against safeguarding violations or crises like that is to make sure that the students know what to do. And for that, we rely upon mainly our advisory program. So every day for 25 minutes, our students are in kind of a homeroom class. This year, one of the things we've done is we've made those small. They used to be 25 to 30 students. This year, we've cut them all to 10 to 15, specifically so that it's more personal for the students. And we give the teachers topics each week. We give them materials to present, but mostly we want them to educate the students about what their role in the community is. So we really work on that, the community education aspect, in our advisory program, which is 25 minutes each day.
So our school have like a card swiping system and the CCTV cameras all over the place, but based on the policy, I cannot go into too much details over here. So usually these systems are checked by operational staff, maybe once a month. And that's why we make sure that every camera is working properly. So we have like different emergency plan which covers situations such as fire, earthquake, and lockdown medical incidents, and we will conduct the drill regularly to make sure our staff all know what they're gonna do on their specific roles. I think I will just take fire drill as an example. We will do fire drill twice a year, and we will examine it, review it right after the drill, and we will see where is the bottleneck, and we will just keep improving it.